everybody, and welcome back to TechZulu Live from Source13 by Flurry. I'm your host, Amanda Coulong, and I have a very special guest with us right now. Folks, this may be not safe for work, or maybe it will, because you might want to go to this site as soon as I tell you what it is. I am sitting here with John Busher of harryballs.com. That is HARRY balls.com. What the hell is harryballs.com?
It's simply a website that offers reviews and information about mobile applications, primarily games. And primarily we focus on uncovering those gems from independent game developers or app developers that may or may not get a huge amount of promotion from the Apples and the Android stores.
I love the fact that you're using humor for this. I mean, again, it kind of goes to show that to stand out in the app economy, so to speak, humor really helps. So I'm sure that a lot of these game developers love you.
Yeah, humor helps. I don't think I'm competing just in the app economy, but you're competing with a billion other websites.
Right.
And so that's exactly the reason I bought the domain, was because either people laugh or they cringe, but they have an instant emotional connection. And in theory, they'll remember it more often.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we're told that through storytelling, the best sorts of stories are the ones that elicit an emotional reaction of some sort. So people will remember harryballs.com. And yes, I'm going to find every way possible to say this during this interview.
And every other interview from now through next year.
So, John, are you a gaming enthusiast yourself then?
I like more the simple puzzle games. You know, I get lost in the shower, so it's nothing too difficult for me.
What are your thoughts on what's been going on with Zynga?
Well, Zynga's a big company. They've exploded over 3 years, and companies that grow that quickly are going to go in different directions, test out different paths. Sometimes one path isn't going to work as well as another path. I think they're just still finding their way.
Are you looking into any multiplayer games on mobile?
Yes, what's happening now, well, multiplayer versus like social playing. Yeah, for the most part, we focus on more the mass market stuff, where it's a social experience where you can challenge your friend. Right. So we highlighted a game called Word Carnival, which is a simple word game where you can challenge you, and you have to spell as many words as possible in a set amount of time. So really, that's more of the play we're going for.
What about, it seems like a lot of women are starting to play mobile games, the casual turn-based games. Have you seen that as well?
Yeah, I think women have been playing, once the casual game industry launched like 10 years ago, people discovered that women actually play games. Like a company called PopCap pioneered that category, Bejeweled, and it's definitely, I mean, if you I take a lot of public transportation here in San Francisco. You go on the bus, everybody's playing a game. Doesn't make a difference whether it's man or woman.
And how are these, especially the independent gaming developers, how are they finding a way to stand out? I mean, they're coming to people like you and getting covered on your site. Did they go into any of those details with you?
Well, I mean, the key for any game developer, whether it's a big game developer or a small game developer, is to create a unique game. So 99% of the press releases I get are for games that aren't very unique. So then so that's the first step. The second step is they sign up for like press release distribution services. They reach out to sites like mine and other sites, and it's just a matter of being persistent. And there's a lot of newer like cross promotion, like a company called Chartboost allows an app developer or game developer to contact another game developer using their SDK to do cross promotion stuff.
Oh, wow.
So that is a very interesting model.
It's called Chartboost?
Yeah, they're here in San Francisco.
Okay. And what about when gaming developers, especially the indie guys, they haven't released yet, they're not live yet. Does it help you, or do you prefer to get a copy of the game ahead of time to be one of the testers?
Well, for the mobile games, what happens is, that's helpful. Yeah. If they're smart, what happens is, if they come up with an idea for a game and decide they're going to go to market, they'll send out a press release.
Right.
Then as they're developing the game, they send out developer diaries, they send out visual assets. Okay. Sometimes they send out trailers. Okay. Sometimes they're like teaser trailers, or sometimes they're trailers that show the actual gameplay. So the more of that information if they're smart, they develop and send out in advance, so they build a buzz for their game, assuming the game is unique. That's really what they have to do.
Which games have been standing out to you most lately?
Well, like this game, Word Carnival. There's a puzzle game I've been playing. It's built by one guy called Connectrode. What other games? Another game called Dark Nebula. It's more of like a labyrinth-style puzzle game. What other games? I mean, those are the primary games. You know.
And what game studios specifically do you have relationships with, or do you tend to get some really cool stuff from?
It's really all over the board.
Yeah.
You know, it's companies like this Play Screen that does this Word Carnival. It's these smaller game companies like this company called Paladin Studios that I'm playing. It's a pinball game, but for kids. But it's not a traditional pinball game. It's like multi-layers where it's just a different kind of pinball. The game is called MOGNA. I don't know how to pronounce it. It just came out today.
I've also noticed that in the mobile gaming space, a lot of these developers are starting to also tie in causes, where they've got this massive audience of people, and they port that audience across their different games, and they're realizing, wow, we could expose our audience to a cause that might be relevant to them and actually support social good, so to speak. Have you seen that as well?
I haven't seen that as much. I saw a game out of Brazil that was focused on the environment, but I haven't seen that a lot necessarily.
Do you ever call up anyone saying, hey, I'm John with hairyballs.com and I really want to cover your company?
All the time.
And what kind of reaction do you get?
They laugh or they hang up.
And then they go to your site and realize that it's legitimate and call you back.
Well, yeah, I had one guy years ago, he emailed me, he said, there's no way, just based on the name. And then he checked out the site. I said, oh, I made a mistake, whatever. I mean, the name is what it is. It catches attention. It's going to cause people to make those kind of decisions. And, I'm putting G-rated content on there for the most part, So.
Well, aside from this swimsuit edition that I see over here, there's the Hairy Balls bathing suit edition that you can see on the site right now. If you go to hairyballs.com, Hairy Balls bathing suit edition. It's wonderful. It's all of these different characters from games in their bathing suits, and it's just amazing. Like the package. Go check out the package on hairyballs.com.